Welcome to the Once Upon an Island podcast, number 2 on the charts, number 1 in your hearts. I'm your host, Wesley, and of course, I'm joined by my cheerful co-host,
Rebekah.
And today we're talking about Survivor 49, episode 12, aka the penultimate episode of Survivor 49. And boy, oh boy, am I looking forward to Survivor 50. Honestly, I really am.
You know what? I do. Yes, I agree with that. I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed tonight's episode. The ups, the downs, I had a great time. Like, there was a lot going on. A lot happened. A lot didn't happen. A lot should have happened and didn't.
A lot didn't happen, that's for sure.
But I have to say, just like from a pure like enjoyment, maybe my bar is low because of where the season has been at so far. But yeah, I think if people, want to watch the first 11 episodes to get context for episode 12 is worth watching. I had a good time.
Oh, brother. I'm hoping next week Sophie B makes her big move. I think next week's the week. That's when it'll happen.
I heard Mitch is going to make a big move next week from 48. Yeah. Any day now.
Yeah, any day now. And Laurel's going to flip on Dom and Wendell. They're all going to do it at the same time. It all happened at the same time.
They've all been playing 4D chess this whole time. We're never going to see it coming.
QD chess. If only Q is here. Q would cause chaos. I do want to mention very briefly before we recap this episode that Rob Cesternino and Jam Jam are going to be on the Traitors. For those who didn't know that, Rob Cesternino from season 6 and season 8 of Survivor, and of course Jam Jam, who won season 44 of Survivor, both going to be on the Traitors. Traitors, I think, premieres January 8th, which is a Thursday. So I highly recommend it. You do not need to watch the first 3 seasons of the Traitors to watch season 4. However, season 1 had Suri and Stephanie LaGrossa. Season 2 had Sandra and Parvati. Season 3 had Tony, Jeremy Collins, and Boston Rob. So they're all worth watching. Varying levels of how good they are, but they're all worth watching, I'll say, for if you're looking for Survivor players. But yeah, season 4, Rebekah. Are you looking forward to it?
Oh, I'm so excited for it. And low-key, I am kind of like, I want to go back and rewatch the previous seasons because, yeah, I mean, especially like season 1, I feel like is such a good laying the groundworks.
Oh, wait. Season 3 had Carolyn, too. There's 4 Survivor players. Yeah. How could I forget Carolyn was on season 3, dude? Oh, my gosh.
That's crazy. She was such a big character. I didn't even clock that. Yeah. But like season 1 is just like laying the groundwork. So I think that's like a helpful place to start if you've never seen the show. And season 2 has like Parvati and they make her do some like Black Widow stuff, which is super fun.
Without spoiling anything, yeah.
It's just very enjoyable. I would definitely recommend it as well. Looking forward to season 4 for sure.
We are going to podcast it. We're not going to podcast every single week. We're going to podcast, I think like the premiere, we'll do like a midweek or a mid-season podcast and a finale podcast. The week, doing every week, we just, honestly, we need a little break between 49 and 50. There's a lot for 50. I have so many videos for 50 I'm working on. We got podcasts we're doing for 50. So we're going to do a few podcasts for the Traitors, but I am looking forward to it. Do want to mention that. It's on Peacock for those who want to watch the prior seasons. And of course, they drop them, I think, every Thursday. They do like the first 3 episodes the first week and then once a week after that until they have 11 episodes a season. So until they're done with 11 episodes. The other thing I want to mention is that we have a contest currently going on. The contest submission at deadline ends on December 15th at midnight, so 11:59 p.m. on December 15th. This contest is to win free paid Patreon at the highest tier. Even if you're already a Patreon member, this is for you as well. This is for everybody, as long as you're 18 or older. Third place gets 1 month of free Patreon. Second place gets 3 months, and first place gets 1 year. We will show the top 3 winners next week here on the podcast. And I do want to mention that basically what you need to do is take a picture of yourself or have someone take a picture of you. You can have other people in it or animals. We did mention animals are kind of a cheat code if you can get your pet in there. Basically, absolutely. Whatever picture we like the most, the top 3 pictures showing how you're a Survivor fan or whatever you want to do with it is what I mean. I want to kind of leave it open-ended. Get those, email them to me, have them to me by December 15th. Top 3 will show here on the podcast next week. We have enjoyed the submissions so far, but there has not been a ton of submissions. So if you're like, oh no, there's probably like 100 submissions, there has not been 100 submissions. You will have a good chance of winning for sure. Just apply. Don't sit on your hands. Don't be Sophie B. Okay, apply to be on Survivor. I mean, just don't be Sophie B. All right, get off your hands and just take. Hey, you never know. You never know because you don't know what everyone else is doing. That really leads in our podcast really well.
It does. That was really good. That was a smooth segue.
It was not purposeful, but it happened. All right. So Steven is excited that Sophie S is gone. That's how we started this episode. And I was like, if only you... There's so many words I want to use. If only you people who are less fortunate than those in charge knew that Sophie S was going for Savannah, the person that this episode they were going after, or at least they said they were going after. Sophie S wanted what you wanted. You guys had aligning goals.
Here's my thing. I have to say I am a little confused at this point about what a couple people, Sage and Christina, what their goals are. Like, I'm really curious.
Know.
I mean,
I don't know.
I know we're going through things chronologically, but like, Sage has just been playing the middle this whole time, but like not in a way that feels super purposeful, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, I really feel like, I don't know, there was so much potential tonight. And I feel bad for Steven that he was sort of like collateral damage, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there was like, last week was an opportunity. This week was an opportunity. Like, I don't know, just a lot of wasted opportunities this season.
Really, Sage and Christina, to me, especially Sage in this episode, in my personal opinion, it's almost like she's never watched Survivor until she applied for the show. Does that make sense? It's almost like, ooh, I'm going to apply for this, and now I'm going to watch the show. It's kind of what I said about MC earlier this season. Of course, MC actually admitted I didn't actually start watching until 47. If Sage told me she didn't start watching till 47, I'd be like, I believe you. I believe you. You could have watched all 48 seasons prior to this one. That's not what I mean. I mean, it's like your knowledge and how you play the game is so evidently a new player. It's so evidently a new Survivor fan. And we do need those on the show. Like, we can't just have, 18 super hardcore, amazing players, because then it's impossible to make moves. All the moves are going to be whatever the most logical, move is. And it's not going to be, there can be exciting plays. It's just, but then you get this. This is the other end of the spectrum, which we have seen with new era casting, with old era casting, whatever you want to call it. Like, this is not new to Survivor, where somebody sits in their hands, Sophie B, and then other people just make what one might call moronic plays, of moronic strategic plays. I can't think of a nice way to call it, because it really is. It just doesn't make sense.
Well,
what we saw tonight from the losing side.
Like, yeah, my impression of Sage, like, I agree with what you're saying about, maybe she hasn't watched a ton of Survivor, but I also think that she's maybe the type of person, again, just from what we've seen on the show, she seems like the type of person who is very emotion driven. So she really like relies on her feelings to like guide her in decision making. Because I think she even made a comment, something along the lines tonight about like, I forget, Steven, I think, was pitching that they vote for Sophie or something. And she was like, hold on, I got to listen to my gut and see if that's like a good idea. It was something along those lines. And so like, I think that's more of what we're seeing with her specifically, is just that she's so emotion driven that every vote to her seems like it's been about like revenge or about fear or about, I don't know, an emotion, and it hasn't been super logical, which I think like that can be really interesting to have a player like that when you have a cast of mostly like logical players. Like, we've seen that in the past, where it's like, everyone's trying to do this one thing, but there's this one person who's like kind of a wild card, and that can be really fun and an interesting dynamic. But yeah, with the combination of having an emotions-led player and also a bunch of people who are just sitting on their hands and doing nothing, it does kind of lead to a lot of missed potential, a lot of things that should have happened and didn't. So yeah, I mean, I think Sage could be, a good player or an interesting character to have on the show. But yeah, I think kind of the combination, like you're talking about, of like the cast that we've got, like just the current casting process. I don't know. I haven't loved this season just in terms of like, the way that everyone is playing together. Which, at the end of this, someone's going to win $1 million. It doesn't matter how entertaining they were on TV. But for me as a viewer, I'm like, I want it to be a little entertaining.
I think it's evident in our podcast. Like, we didn't have a running gag last season until literally the finale, when Kyle and Camilla were in a secret alliance. But like, honestly, like that wasn't really ramped up in the storytelling until the last third of that season. 48, we had no running gags because it just was like, I don't know, it wasn't really that fun of a season. And then 49, again, like we have no running gag this season because it's not really that fun. Like Savannah's smiling and seething was almost there, but then it went away. You know, Shannon versus Sage was the peak of Sage in her story. That was her peak.
True.
Shannon was, in retrospect, the TV gold of the season outside of Rizgod. And I don't know Savannah's TV gold, like TV gold meaning like this person's super memorable for things they've done this season. Savannah's a good player. She's a good character. I don't know about TV gold, but like Rizgod is clearly the TV gold of the season.
Yeah,
besides
he's the
Shannon.
Standout.
Shannon was TV gold for all the wrong reasons. Rizgod's TV gold for all the right reasons. Though we will talk about, I do want to mention that I think Rizgod, he's playing a fun game that I think with the right jury would respect it. If he loses, it's because this jury is full of people who make dumb decisions. And I don't mean like it would be dumb to not vote for Rizgod to win. I mean, look at how they've played the game and then think about, oh, how are these people going to vote for the winner? Honestly, think about it like that. That's the best way of looking at it. These people that you have seen play all season, the way they've played, are going to vote for a winner. What do you think their decision is going to be? Is it going to be the person who has fake idol played 6 times and has had fun? Or do you think they're going to vote for whoever has done whatever? I don't even know like what their criteria honestly is going to be at this point.
Won the most immunities, maybe.
Right. Like it's going to be, I don't know. I'm not saying Rizgod should be handed a win, but I'm saying that I'm hoping the vote's super close. We of course highly suspect that Savannah's going to win based on the tribe division. My goodness, Rebekah, could you imagine if Rizgod and Savannah were on the same tribe in 50?
Yeah, this would be a totally different conversation.
Oh, because I genuinely watched this tonight and I'm like, I know, like in the back of my head, I'm like, but I know Rizgod can't win because of the tribe division in 50. But at the same time, like, if they didn't do that, I would be sitting here going like, I think we have a serious debate between these two.
I mean, here's the thing. I will say, I think that I am glad that they didn't put them both on the same tribe of season 50 because I think in this season, the way that they've played has been so, I mean, they've played so similarly. Like they've been so, I don't know, just with being each other's number one alliance this whole time, I would be bored by watching another season of them doing the same thing. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't start on the same tribe for that reason. And just to play devil's advocate, what if Survivor is just messing with us and like maybe Rizgod does win and they purposefully put them on tribes on season 50 in the way that they did to mislead us? I'm not saying that's the most likely outcome, but I think it's a possibility. And I mean, we've seen like just with some of the ways that Survivor has kind of messed with us in the past, with specifically with Kyle winning last season and just the way that that edit was put together. Like, I don't know, it's not outside the realm of possibility. So I hear what you're saying, but I also don't think we should fully dismiss Rizgod as a potential winner. I'm not
fully dismissing him, but I am saying that the writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
The writing's on the wall.
Fair.
You know, is Survivor going to do the most obvious thing, or are they going to trick us? And usually it's the most obvious thing. The tricking us is very low on their, like, remember, this is the same show. And by the way, I love Survivor. I know you're hearing a lot of complaining because I know what it can be and the good seasons we all see. Like we literally, we all were here when we podcast about 45, 46, 47. 45 did end with people getting blown over by the Reba 4, but it was a good season up until the Bruce vote off. Like it was a good season for 10 episodes. Like I said this before. I think I said this last week, but like, and then 46, the first 4 episodes were like almost like, oh my gosh, can Banu get off my screen? Right? Why is everything about Yanu and Banu? But then once Banu's gone, the season took off, and 46 is the top tier season of the new era for me. 47, a very good season. I don't know if I would put 47 above 46 by any means. I know some people would. 47 is a very good season, but then we have 48. 48 was kind of disappointing. 48 in retrospect, I mean, in the moment and in retrospect, like just a very middling season. 49 is dumpster fire the right word?
No, because a dumpster fire at least is exciting.
Dumpster fire at least keeps your hands warm. There you go. You don't have to sit on them because the dumpster fire keeps your hands warm. All right, we have obviously so much to say, and but let's get through this, okay? All right, so I mean, there's things we got to get through because we are here to go through the entire episode. But you and I could just like side tangent the entire rabbit hole, the entire podcast.
Yeah, we could do a podcast of oops, just rabbit holes.
Oops. Let's talk about why everyone made the wrong decision tonight, except for 2 people. All right, Sophie B wants to be called Sophie and not Soph, and I will point out that the theme song did change her name back to Sophie.
Yes, I caught that. Yep, she has reclaimed she is the Sophie of this season.
I will give credit also to Rizgod. Rizgod, by the between him and Savannah, I'm going to give it to Rizgod for MVP, though I could see why what he did could rub some people the wrong way when we get to Tribal. But Rizgod said he has perpetuated the lie that his idol is done tonight, which is very similar to Tony Vlachos, who said his super idol was actually good for 1 vote more than it was. Rizgod's pretending his idol is good for 1 vote less, both for the same reason, both so they don't get voted out, so people don't target them.
Both good strategies.
Both good strategies.
Now, I do have to say, I think you've brought this up on previous podcasts. It is potentially a little like concerning that Rizgod has not really been a target for like how many weeks now. Like, obviously, I know that everyone knows he has the idol, but like, no one's even really talked about putting votes on him.
But Rebekah, how much is that people just honestly just being dumb? Honestly, at this point,
I mean,
look at what happened tonight. How much of that is just people being dumb?
I think you could say people being dumb. You could also say Rizgod has some Riz. Like, I'll give it to him. He lives up to his name. Like, I really think that it is impressive that he's able to convince people to vote the way that he wants to. And like, yeah, even the lie about the idol only being good until tonight.
I mean, that was a good play and it worked. It worked.
Yeah. I think my concern is like, okay, are people not respecting his game because no one wants to vote for him? But at the same time, if people are so easily swayed by him, man, he's got a shot. If he gets to the final tribal, like all he has to do is use his Riz in his final tribal speech.
Play his fake idol and be like, this actually gives me 3 jury votes.
Yeah.
And 3 jury members who's like, specifically it says in my note that 3 people he doesn't think is going to vote for him.
I get to write down 3 people who have to vote for me.
I get to write down 3 jury members who have to vote for me. Hey, somebody said last week in a comment, and I thought this was really, really smart, Rebekah. I don't know if it's plausible. Somebody said, can you fake a knowledge is power advantage? Can you do a fake one?
Ooh.
And I think that's on the table. Here's the thing. Nothing indicated tonight that Sophie B had to read her entire note verbatim. Like, Jeff was like, can you read the entire note verbatim, Sophie B? She just decided to do it. I don't think that's how it's been done every time. I could be wrong, but I think it's on the table that you could be like, I have the knowledge is power. And it gives me the option to ask 1 or 2 questions. One is the advantage question. The other one's the idol question. Like, you can just leave it at that and be like, just pull out a piece of paper that could be honestly, it could be a tree mail that you saved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to show everybody. You'd be like, so I'm going to ask the question. The thing is, you can't be sitting where Sophie B is down in the front in the middle.
Right. You have to be sitting on the back row.
Right. You have to be sitting in the back row on the side. That's ideal.
Or
I don't know how
you
you
pull a Rizgod and you go stand up next to Jeff.
Oh.
You're like, everyone, I have an announcement.
Yes. That's actually good because if you sit in the wrong spot, you're like, Jeff, actually, can I come over there? And Jeff's like, sure. And you go stand next to Jeff. You're like, I have the knowledge is power advantage. And then you ask your question, you steal it, they hand it to you, and you're like, so you're giving me this idol? And they're like, well, yeah. And you're like, thanks. And that's the transfer of power right there.
Yeah, I do wonder.
And then you drop the bomb. I didn't even have a knowledge. Why would they? That makes for amazing TV. You played. That's what they want, right?
I guess. Yeah. No, I guess that's true. But also, at the very least, you could use it to learn if someone has an advantage. Like, you could at least, use it to be like, make them show you the idol. Because then even if they're like, oh, show me the paper or whatever, like, at least then you know that they have something. So that's a really good strategy. I like that.
I did not come up with it. It was a comment on our podcast last week, and I said, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So credit to that person. It's not my idea, but I will say that if somebody goes on Survivor, does it, and you either A, like you said, even just learning who has what that maybe you didn't know about, or B, you actually pull it off and steal it. There's nothing in the rules that say you can't. Unless everybody gets to know at the beginning of the game says you can't do this, why can't you?
Right, yeah. It's kind of reminiscent of when Rachel in 47 played her shot in the dark just to like gauge reactions of like, should I play the real idol? Well, it's kind of like the same thing where it's like, where it's like, hey, let me just like, I don't know, trick you into giving me information basically. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. I like that idea a lot.
Also, I will die on this hill. I know for the past 2 weeks, people have upvoted each other and then downvoted me. Whatever. I think Sophie B should have stolen Christina's idol 2 weeks ago. I said it then. I'm saying it now. That was the only move that made sense for her. If she's going to sit on her hands and just sit with this alliance, which is what she ended up doing. She just stole Christina's idol. Christina's the other side. She's the enemy. Steal her idol. Now you could be like, well, in retrospect, will Christina still vote with them tonight? Probably. Look, what's the logic voting with them tonight anyways? Like, steal the idol.
She voted against her number one, her number one ally. I don't understand.
Because Rizgod talked to her at camp.
Yeah,
that's what we were shown. That's what we were shown.
Yeah.
Because he convinced Sage and Christina by like, but shouldn't we vote off Steven? Basically is what he said. But shouldn't we vote off Steven? Wouldn't that be a good idea? And they fell for it. So
now, I will also say I was
Sophie B has zero threat level. None. She lost any credibility tonight when she tried to steal from Steven and it failed. That got lost. Tough. And I agree. Also with the comments that said she should steal Rizgod's idol and vote him off. I agree with you, but nothing narratively was leading us to that. Sorry, Rebecca, I'm on a rant right now. Nothing narratively was leading us to that, which is why I was saying she should steal from Christina, because she's not going to flip on her ally. She clearly had no interest in it. If she did, when she got the knowledge's power at that tribe swap, I think first or second tribe swap, whatever, and Rizgod had the idol since pre-merge, like it would have been mentioned at some point in the 5 or 6 episodes, but it was never mentioned. It was just not on the table. The only time we heard her talk about potentially stealing something was last week in that throwaway confessional where she's like, I could steal Steven's advantage. All right, Rebecca, go ahead.
Oh man. I mean, that's basically it. Like I did read, people's comments saying like that Sophie B should steal Rizgod's idol. I mean, I think
and vote him off.
I think that's the big key.
That was the key.
Like I sent this message in our group chat while we were watching the episode, but I really think Savannah taking Sophie B to the reward tonight was Savannah's biggest move in the game so far, and I don't know if she even realizes it. But as soon as that happened, I was like, I mean, not that we've really seen any evidence that Sophie B was going to turn on the two of them.
Rebecca, right before the reward challenge, Sophie B supposedly wanted to take a shot at Savannah in the last episode.
Right. Yeah. Supposedly. I mean, she's mentioned it so many times. So but at least what we've been presented in the show, because I don't know why she wouldn't have taken a shot last week. Like, if she was going to take a shot, take a shot. But, I think Savannah taking her on this reward, like, again, there's that emotional component where it's like, all right, the three of them are really locked in now, I think. And so, yeah, like there was kind of like you were saying, just leading up to Tribal tonight, there was no evidence that she's actually going to switch on or flip on these two.
There was no setup for it.
There's no setup. There's no and so it's so unfortunate because I really like Sophie B. Like I think early in the season, she was one of my favorite players. And it's just so unfortunate that she sat on her hands so long and now has had this epic fail in front of the jury. And it just really has in my mind, crushed so many of her chances of winning.
I don't know why,
but I think she had so much potential.
That one secret scene of her finding Christina's idol in her bag. Because if it was all leading to this anyways, they should have shown the missed opportunity even further. Like in the episode narratively, without secret scenes, you're thinking, well, she didn't know for a fact Christina had an idol. But then there's the secret scene that they posted on online showing that she did. She found it in a secret scene. So they left it out of the episode on purpose to make her look smarter. So people were like, and I think I'm not saying people are wrong for thinking this. They're like, well, clearly they're hiding that because they want her to look smarter because later on she's going to successfully do something like steal Rizgod's idol and play it against him. If that had happened, then yes, I would agree with you. But in the retrospect, I'm like, they should have left that in the show because here's all these missed opportunities she had. She didn't steal Christina's. She didn't steal Steven's because she could steal Steven's last week. That's the thing. She sat so long. She had the opportunity to steal Steven's. She knew about Steven's before Tribal and she still did not steal it last week. She tried to steal it this week. She was too late. And it was funny. I did laugh. Mary laughed. You laughed, I assume.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
I don't know if
I laughed. I cried. It was like, it was a lot.
I laughed. I cried. What's the
It
quote?
Moved me, Bob.
Yeah, it moved me, Bob. Thank you. You know where I was going.
VeggieTales reference for the homeschoolers out there.
Hey, I wasn't homeschooled. I just watched VeggieTales.
Yeah.
All right. So we have the reward challenge, which is basically the challenge that Q won that Liz freaked out about with Applebee's. At least that's how it ended. It ended with the throwing the bag on the pole.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I honestly zoned out during the challenge.
Yeah. Wasn't too exciting. Savannah won.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's the important part.
That's
Savannah
the important
won.
Part, yep.
The reward is Mexican food, which I was like, good. That's good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Of course,
that's not bird food.
No, that's actually good. That's a good food. That was like when they did the. Of course, it's so predictable that Final Six is what they do. You go to the sanctuary, you get some sort of country themed food. Operation Italy, Operation Mexico, whatever. You get some sort of, and you get letters from home, and you can stay the night. Like it's so rote, R-O-T. I think it's the right use of that word. I think so. We know exactly what's to be expected. So good food, good reward. Savannah, as you alluded to, basically saved, I think, her and Rizgod's hide. So her move was a subtle one, whereas Rizgod's was flashy. Savannah subtly saved their hide by bringing Sophie B on reward. And basically Sophie B's like, this is a sign from God that I should not flip on Savannah and Rizgod.
Right. Yeah.
Is it? Is God said that? When did he? Through Savannah?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I think I get it where it's like there's this emotional component where you're like, man, this person just picked me for like some real food, a good night's sleep, letters from home. Like, I don't want to vote for them now.
But
like,
it's a sign from God.
Yeah, it's a little extreme, I guess.
That's where I come in. Because like I was all like, all upset. I'm like, waiting, all right, when is she going to decide to sit on her hands? Because it's more fun to do that. Or because it's safer to do that. It makes you feel better, whatever the word is. And it was when she said, there's a sign from God to not flip. And I was like, there it is. Oh my gosh. It's a sign from God because I got to eat Mexican food with Savannah on reward. Good for Savannah, by the way.
Absolutely.
The imagery of her wearing that sombrero and then Sophie B having her sombrero on like sideways, almost like falling off of her. And she's like, guys, I love you so, or whatever she was saying. And it's like, yep, this is very representative. One of them has their act together. The other one does not. That's what I felt like watching the sombreros on their head. I don't know if anyone else caught that. That's how I felt.
What I'm kind of interested in terms of like assuming that these three get to the final, like get to the final three together.
How do they not? Somebody loses in fire to what? Christina or Sage? I don't know. It's maybe Sage is good fire.
So I'm assuming it's going to be these three at the end. My only, I guess, like thought, because as we're continuing this conversation about how much the show wants us to like Sophie B, like obviously they had to show us how she failed to use her advantage tonight because it was at Tribal Council. It was like, that was a big deal. Like we have to know that she tried to play the knowledge is power. But the whole thing about them hiding her finding Christina's idol, my only thought is that there's still potential that she's going to win. Because if we get to the end and the jury doesn't respect Rizgod's game because it was all flash, no substance, they don't like Savannah because she's mean or whatever.
Girl or whatever they said, yeah.
Yeah, like that one time she asked Christina who she was voting for, so mean. And so then everyone just ends up voting for Sophie.
She's like, so who are you voting for? Christina's like, I don't know how to handle this conversation.
Whoa, I need to step back and take a break.
This was intense. That's the thing. Like, Sophie B wins. That's what we were saying. That's what I was saying in the beginning about who is this jury going to vote for?
I could see. That's the thing is I could see it happening.
I sincerely hope they don't vote for Sophie B. If this is if this is the edit narrative of a winner, holy cow! But
she does have the underdog story. That's the only thing that she has. I mean, I know that was like the very beginning of the season.
That's all she has going for her.
But it's not much, but it's something, I guess.
If she ends up being a winner, I guarantee you when we do winner rankings next, people are going to put her in the bottom 5.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
I think that's fair.
People have gone to the bottom 5 for less. If you look at the previous winner rankings ranked by the fans, like people have gone to the bottom 5 for less. Gabler, I think at one point was in the bottom 5. I'm like, Gabler was one vote shy of a perfect game.
Yeah, that season...
I'm not saying Gabler is a top 10 winner, but I'm saying bottom 5.
We got Ala Gablered. I'm still not over that season. That was nuts.
Yeah. I mean, in retrospect, Gabler played a solid game. Like, he was not made to look a fool. Did. If Sophie B wins, he was not made to look a fool like Sophie B. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
He was a bit goofy, but he was not made to look a fool outside of, I think episode 1 when he was, not to get too sidetracked, in episode 1 when he was like, oh, I'm going to play the shot in the dark tonight. Like, that was the only time all season where he was made to look a fool. And like, episode 1, really?
And even that, like, I haven't gone back and rewatched that season since then. I remember being, like, a little upset in the moment that he won, but in retrospect, it's kind of hilarious.
Oh, it's more hilarious at the time.
I'm on board with him winning now.
And then at the reunion, I'm giving it all away to the veterans.
Yes. What an icon.
Icon.
Gabler, what an icon you are.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, what season are we talking about?
Talking about 49. So they go on the Mexican food reward. They get their letters from home. Sophie B gets a backstory with pictures, and Rizgod gets backstory with pictures. And we didn't get one from Savannah, but that's because earlier in the season, we got a backstory from Savannah about her job. I don't recall if there were pictures. Somebody please remind us in the comments if she did get pictures. I don't think she did.
Yeah.
If she did,
I don't think she did
remember.
either, but I could be misremembering. Yeah.
So that's why we didn't get one from her. Sophie B, there's a lot of narration from Sophie B at this sanctuary. In fact, we were at the sanctuary for like 30 minutes of this episode, it felt like, with commercials. And a lot of it was through Sophie B's perspective, which if you're saying winner edit, there you go. I guess a lot of Sophie B perspective. But at the end of the day, it was all like, I'm going to not flip on my alliance. I'm going to steal Rizgod, or I'm going to steal Steven's advantage. Like things that did happen, but none of it was a good look. Yeah. So it was an impactful sanctuary for Sophie B because it made her make all the wrong decisions. It did. Before that, she was going to flip on Savannah, and she might have stolen Rizgod's idol. She might have. Not that that was being set up, but she might have.
What a different season this would be if not
Savannah
for the
didn't win reward.
I know. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I was thinking about like the strategy of Savannah taking Rizgod and Sophie because, like, I mean,
it's so obvious.
Like to me, I'm like, I probably would have taken Rizgod and Christina maybe, or Sage.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not gonna take Steven because he's already a threat in challenges. I don't want to fuel him. But like I definitely would have left Sophie behind just for the sake of like splitting up my alliance so that, you know, like people aren't gonna talk back at camp. But in this instance, like if Savannah had done that, then Sophie B's gonna run around with Steven and, you know, Sage or whoever's left and make a plan to vote for Rizgod. Like, so yeah, I mean, this was a huge move for Savannah tonight, but again, yeah, I don't know if she was fully aware of it at the moment.
At the moment, no, but she did make her alliance feel good. And there's something we said about making your alliance feel good because I think we have seen in the past where somebody doesn't take somebody on reward and that ends up hurting them. Let me give you a case in point. Charlie did not take Maria on reward for the same exact reward on 46, the same episode, if I recall. And that's the episode where Maria's like, I didn't get my letters from home. And that was the turning point episode for they were already going to go for each other, but that was it. Him not taking her on reward, that was it. She was done. She's like, I'm done, Charlie. Going for him now. And it didn't work out, but I mean, worked out for Kenzie.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But it didn't work out, is my point. So yes, it could definitely hurt so making people feel good. Who knows what would have happened if Charlie had taken Maria on that reward. I'm not saying it would have changed everything, but I'm saying,
but at the very least, like if she's on the jury, does he get her vote? Did he
win that reward?
Which
I know he went on the reward. No, he didn't, because it was Maria was upset with Charlie because he didn't take her on a reward. Yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
Operation Italy happened because of this reward. This reward, I'm not saying they should get rid of it. I'm just saying it's expected. I'm not saying they should get rid of it though. It has been Operation Italy came because of this reward, which ended up, it got out Caroline instead of Rachel. It was still an iconic episode, a great moment. It was what made 47 a great season, like a very good season.
It was still a very fun move.
Right. And it was presented in a fun way as well. So
yes,
Rizgod did briefly mention Operation Mexico, and for a second I was like a little hopeful, but I was like, wait, what would Operation Mexico be from Rizgod? To fake his idol play again? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Sage back at camp for the 2 minutes we spend with the losers of the season. Sage says this is karma for not voting out Savannah. Yes, she is correct. Accurate. If Savannah wasn't here because you voted with Sophie S., Savannah could not have won reward and then taken other people.
Yeah. Honestly, Steven probably would have won.
Right. He was. No, Sage. Oh, that immunity Sage got second. Who got second in the reward challenge? We don't know because it was just, it was just whoever was hitting the poll.
Yeah, they were all tossing at the same time. I think Steven was the first one to start tossing. So really anyone could have won.
He got it on the top and it just rolled off. So he might have.
Yeah, I think he was the closest from what I saw.
It's not Rizgod. Rizgod doesn't win any challenge.
No, he's
genuinely awful at challenges.
He's so bad. And I I don't know. That to me is like the weakest part of his game.
Yeah.
And I don't know like what you do to improve that
Who cares?
necessarily.
Sandra won twice without winning immunity.
I mean, true.
Cerise's a legend. And as you talked about, she has never won an immunity either.
No, yeah, you're so right.
Right.
I think it's just like when you watch someone who like his whole thing is like, I've got the Riz, and then you watch
Rizgod, baby.
Yeah, like, and then he's the first one out of every single challenge.
It's like War Dog, Rizgod and War Dog.
Yeah,
War
there's
Dog
a difference between someone who presents themselves like that versus like a Sandra who's like, yeah, I'm a wife and mom. I'm here to like win $1 million for my husband who's a veteran.
Yeah.
You know, like all of that stuff. It's like, that's a very different narrative. I feel like it's not as cringe when she doesn't win immunities as it is when the Rizgod just like is the first one out all the time. So, but yeah, I don't know what you do to work on that. Like, I guess you can practice puzzles, but like, I don't know.
I say this in a very joking manner, but apparently, no, I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind. I had a joke, but like, I just don't even feel right about saying it. All right.
Okay.
So they both get back. Okay. So then we go to the immunity challenge. Comes down to Sage versus Savannah. Sage tries to convince Savannah that she's safe tonight. She's right, actually. They were all going to vote Steven. I don't know.
Right.
Who knows?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. If Savannah didn't have immunity around her neck, does it work? Did they actually vote together?
Yeah. I mean,
know.
Sage kept saying, like, first of all, everything she was saying felt very desperate.
It did.
Like, she was struggling, and I get it. You're going to start saying things like, I would probably do the same thing. But yeah, she kept saying, like, it's worth a shot. Absolutely. You try and get in their head, whatever you can do. Again, I'm never gonna like knock someone for trying something in this game. At least Sage tried something, and she was right up there, like, you know, neck and neck. For
Not
this
too much credit.
So,
she didn't try something later.
Well, yeah, but in this moment, she gets the credit. But yeah, I like one of the first things she was saying was like, I have a plan to save both of us, and it's like, I mean, again, you're in this like high pressure situation. I don't know how much Savannah was really like thinking or considering this at all, but it's like, okay, what is Sage gonna suggest that's gonna save both of them? Not just for tonight, but like also
while everyone
future,
can hear them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it very clearly felt like just a thing she was saying to try and get Savannah to drop. Which again, yeah, try it, throw it at the wall, see what works. You know, see what sticks.
Well, it doesn't work. Savannah wins immunity number 3. And as I've said previously, if Savannah wins the final 2 immunities that we have left, she breaks the record for women. I know it was talked about on the show tonight how the record for women is 4. I think there's a chance she could break it. Look at her competition.
Mm-hmm.
Rizgod, Sophie B, Christina, and Sage. I think Savannah has a shot. Definitely, I feel like almost guaranteed to get the 4th with her competition. But there's a chance she gets 5. And ties the male record. Ozzy, Terry Dietz, and Mike Holloway. And there might be another person. I'm sorry if there is a 4th person with 5 wins. Those are the 3 I can remember that have 5 immunity wins. Ties them for a single season immunity record, obviously, not for all time. Because there's more. I'm pretty sure Ozzy has more than 5. It's just that you got 5 in Cook Island.
Yes. Oh, right. Yeah. But per season. Right. Yep.
Yeah. Ozzy also had less chances to get individual immunity because they didn't like do an actual merge like episode 11, something insane like that.
Right.
He won almost all of them. They just only had like 6 chances at it or something stupid like that. So
that's such a good point. Yeah.
Right. It's like imagine if they had merged in episode 7 like they did this season for Ozzy. Ozzy would have had 8 wins that season, 9 wins. Like Ozzy dominated. Easy. Yeah. Easy peasy. Anyway, she gets immunity win number 3. Sophie B is the target for the Steven side. Now I want to pause and be like, that's a good idea. In fact, Mary was in my ear while we were watching. She's like, they should got Sophie B. And I'm like, dude, Sophie B goes tonight. That's so poetic. Because I already knew we were going to her trying to steal Steven. I'm like, poetic to sit on your hands, try to steal Steven's advantage, not get it, and then get voted off. I'm like, it would have been.
What a brutal final tribal that would have been.
Brutal tribal to go out on. But also, would it not been an iconic episode had it happened?
Yeah. Right. I mean, I think it would have been iconic. I almost wish something like that would happen earlier in the season. Because, like, man, how brutal for someone to get through. I don't even know how many days we're at right now, but, like, 23. So far into the season, 23. Yeah, to, like, be starving for 23 days and then to just go out in such an epic, like, failure.
You only have yourself to blame. You only have yourself.
Be so
you could have stolen 2 idols. And you even, she even flipping talked about my grandmother would want me to steal Rizgod's idol. And I'm like, You and I, we were like
messaging
messaging in a group. Yeah, I'm like, we're messaging a group. I'm like, okay, stealing Rizgod's idol would not win you the game. It's not a big move if you don't get out Rizgod, but it's a move to secure third place.
Yes.
It would have secured her third place. I mean, she clearly didn't get enough votes against her because, let's talk about this. Rizgod back at camp talks to Sage about voting out Steven, and apparently that's all that needed to be said because that's all we saw. And then Sage is like, that's a good idea.
Suggests it.
That's a good idea. And Christina has I thought she did when she said it, had a great read on voting out Sophie B, but apparently she still votes out Steven. Steven says Christina's game is a mess. Oh, okay, here's the thing. I think this is the only thing I'm going to get Steven on because I think Steven made the right move tonight. Steven's the only one on the losing side, in my opinion, to try. And he failed, but he tried. Here's where Steven dropped the ball, and this is going based on what we saw on the show. I think Steven needed to make Sage and Christina feel very good and make it super clear and like plain as day. We have 3 votes. They have 2. We have 3 votes. They, like pointing to them, have 2. We have 3 votes. They have 2. We cannot screw this up. This is an easy win. They can do nothing to stop us. Rizgod plays his idol on himself because remember, they think that Rizgod's idol has to be played tonight. Rizgod is going to play his idol on himself because that's the kind of player he is, if he even plays it. Sophie B is an available target. We have 3 votes. They have 2. Survivor ends with a final 3. That's us. We are the final 3. Like, don't say it to them like in a way where it makes it feel like to me. Like I'm doing it in a joking manner. But at the same time, that's the message. We are the final 3. We are 3 votes. They are 2. We win this vote, right? Next time, we just gotta make sure Savannah doesn't win immunity. Rizgod won't have his idol next week because remember, they think it's gone this week. That's the pitch you make for Tribal. Rizgod doesn't have his idol next week. So even if Savannah wins immunity, Rizgod's gone next. Savannah's in the final 4. We beat her in fire making. Like worst case scenario. Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Does that sound better than not being in the final 3? Ugh.
Yeah.
Sage over here like Sophie B and me in the final 3. Since when? What?
Yeah. I mean, there's been some, I think they've mentioned this once or twice before, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I think after you see Savannah pick Sophie B and like for the reward, and it's
you already
clearly
know.
like the line is in the sand. Like, you know, it's those 3 versus you 3. Like, yeah, it's so, like Sophie B is not going to flip.
It could have been 4v3, by the way. Could have been.
True.
Could have been 4v3. And they got themselves down to 3v3, but they had an advantage. It could have been 4v3. Oh, they dropped the ball so hard.
Oh,
and Sophie S was voting with them for Savannah. Oh, I'm so glad we got her out when she was voting with us for Savannah. Morons, dude. Morons.
Yeah. So sad.
I know. And I say morons within the game of Survivor. Like outside the game, whatever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying for people listening, like I am only judging people based on how they're played Survivor.
This specific move that these people made when they hadn't eaten for 6 days and they were, stressed and hadn't slept. Like,
This isn't the first season. Like, we know what to do at this point, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyway, Steven blocks Savannah's vote. Sophie B says her grandma would want her to steal Rizgod's idol. Show is setting you up, by the way, because we see Steven say, I am blocked Savannah's vote, therefore it's out of my pocket. Like, Sophie B's like, my grandma would want me to steal Rizgod's idol. And we're like, she's going to make the right move.
Do it.
And even I believed her for a second. I'm like, no, maybe she will. Maybe she'll steal Rizgod's idol to save herself. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If she thinks
Which even that would have been a bad move tonight because no one voted for her. But like, that's kind of what I expected was she steals Rizgod's idol, she plays it for herself, and then, the chips fall where they may. It
would have been better than being made to look like a complete fool in front of everybody when you try to steal. By the way, Steven, the entire time, the moment she opens, she has knowledge power, Steven is smiling ear to ear.
Oh, yeah, you gotta like, that's such a good point. Like, did she not look back and see
Probably not. She was
his
nervous.
reaction?
I think she was nervous.
Which, like, fair enough, I get it, but it's like, that's such a crucial part of Survivor is like being able to read the people that you're playing with. And if you look behind you and Steven is grinning like a maniac, either he's covering something, he's trying to like act like
he's not Rizgod.
He's not bothered. But knowing Steven, he's more likely like he knows what's about to happen. And you gotta like, I don't know, you gotta pay attention to stuff like that. So Which, okay, that would have been hilarious if she had opened the Knowledge is Power tonight, read the whole thing, and then been like, actually, I'm not going to use this.
Pulled a Rizgod.
Because it looks like Steven has outsmarted me or outplayed me here, so never mind, I'm going to save this. And like, that would have been funny.
Steven, did you already play your... No, anyways. So, the thing is, if you got to think about it from Sophie B's perspective here for a minute, she's had this thing for like 15, 16 days. I don't know how many days it's been since she got it. She had this thing for like 2 weeks, right? 2 real life weeks, not 2 episode weeks. 2 real life weeks. She's been building up in her head. She finally tells her alliance, I think the day before yesterday, about her knowledge is power. So she's like, the burden weight off my shoulder. I've told my alliance I'm going to use it. They know about it. By the way, they took it in stride. They were not even like mad at her, which is how I feel it would have been had she stolen Christina's idol 2 weeks ago. They wouldn't have been mad because you were going for the other side. People would only they would only be mad at you if you stole Rizgod's idol without telling them. Like, that would get them mad. But
that would be a betrayal.
Stealing Christina when Christina's on the other side is just fine. Be like, why don't you tell me? But at the same time, cool. We've put our foot on the throat of the other side. Whatever. Anyways, so she's sort of building up in her head. She's nervous. She's got all these cameras that we're not seeing. All these cameras. She's at tribal council. The jury's watching her. All eyes are on her. Jeff's looking at her. Everything's building up to this. She's nervous. She's not gonna. I'm not gonna knock her for not looking at Steven. That's what I'm saying. For not considering what Steven's looking at. She would have had to go into tribal thinking to herself, okay, remember, look at Steven's face when I read this. But she didn't. That's a Rachel move. Rachel's like, I'm play shot in the dark and read the room on. Like Rachel was prepared. She didn't like in the moment have to decide. She was I'm gonna do this and then see what happens and feel the room, see what happens when I do this. Versus Sophie B, I don't think was thinking that. She's thinking, I have a guaranteed steal, and she did not.
So, right. Yeah.
She didn't need to care about Steven's face. She thought she had it guaranteed. So,
yeah. That's what happens, though, when you get too comfortable in Survivor. Like, we've seen it a million times of, like, you get too comfortable, and that's your downfall. And it's unfortunate, but also sometimes a little hilarious.
Let this be a lesson to everyone watching. There is value on Survivor. So sometimes just letting the vote happen, anybody but me. There is value to that. You cannot do that for every single day of the game. 26 days, you can't do that. You're not going to win. There's just there's not much value to that. You have to be sitting next to 2 knuckleheads in the final 3 for that to be your winning game. Is that, well, don't vote for these 2 knuckleheads. I'm the best option. We have seen that before. But ideally, that's not the case. Ideally, you have done something to impress people. Take advantage of your opportunities. She had many opportunities and she dropped them. She loses. Yeah. It's on her. If she wins, I guess we're going to be eating our words next week. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the difference is like, I think a lot of people who we've seen use the strategy of like anybody but me, they don't always have a lot of options. Whereas, like this season, Sophie has had so many options, so many opportunities to like make a move and just hasn't done it. So, I mean, again, I think it's still fairly likely that she's going to win next week. But, man, I don't know. This season has just not... There's been such a... I think what's interesting to me is, like, with a lot of things, I don't obsess over things that are, like, necessarily bad or good, but more things where it's, like, there was lost potential.
Yes.
That's what's so interesting to me is, like, there was so much potential this season for good, and no one did anything.
I think
that's
in particular,
where it's like,
that's why I'm most annoyed by Sophie B. I'm not like Sage Christina made the dumb move of the night. Sophie, I'm most annoyed by because there was potential for a win. There was potential. If she wins next week, we'll be eating our words. We'll be trying to figure out what happened. Obviously, we've done it before when Kyle won. Kyle was more obvious in retrospect.
Right.
Gabler, like 2 times we've been wrong. If Sophie B wins, we'll figure it out. But I don't think that's happening. I really don't. I think Sophie B had the potential to win and she dropped the ball. And that's why I think I'm most annoyed by her gameplay versus Christina. Like Sage, there was a glimpse of hope, but it was just a glimpse. Christina, never had it.
Yeah. Like to me, I think Sophie B still has a really good shot at winning. But that being said, like that is kind of a disappointing way for a winner to play, if that makes sense. Like,
right.
Yeah, like just given the players that we have this season, like I will not be surprised at all if she wins next week. Like I think she has at least like a 40% shot at winning.
Really?
That's where I'm at currently. Like I absolutely think she has a chance.
Well,
but
tomorrow,
am I going to rewatch this season if she wins?
You're going to have to figure out what the heck happened.
I guess, yeah.
Tomorrow, Mass and I are going to rank the remaining 5 players. And we're going to talk about in what scenario do they win? Is there a scenario where they sit next to 2 people and they win? I think that there is a scenario where all 5 players, well, realistically, I don't think Christina can because of the Zero confessional episode that she had twice. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about all 5 players, talk about their chance to winning. Also, I want to mention this because I meant to mention earlier, I forgot to. We're going to release it this week on Patreon, but next week on YouTube. We're going to rank the remaining, all 9 New Era seasons. Me, Rebekah, Mass, and Mary. Yes, all 4 of us in the same podcast finally.
It's going to be a party.
Because the question is, have you ever seen Rebekah, Mass, and Mary in the same room? I haven't. But next week we will. Tomorrow.
That's a good question.
We're going to record it tomorrow, and it'll be on Patreon this week, but it'll be on YouTube next week if you don't want to wait. And then for those on Spotify, you get all the stuff like later. If you're on Spotify, what are you doing on Spotify? Come over to YouTube. Like it's all this stuff. Come over to YouTube and Patreon.
It's way more fun over here.
Patreon is early and ad-free. YouTube is where all the comments are, where the activities at. Yeah. Just Spotify is just like, I put it there because people asked about it, but I'm like, it makes literally $0. It makes, and then Apple Music. I tried getting us on Apple Podcasts. I know we talked about this before. Flipping, like they give me, they're like, I try to apply and they're like, you need to talk to Podbean. I talk to Podbean, they're like, you talk to Apple. Talk to Apple, you talk to Podbean. It's a circle. It's a circle. It's a circle. It's a circle.
That's tough. Actually, I meant to talk to you about that. I think my dad figured that out at some point.
Did he?
So I need to talk to him about what he did and see if we can figure that out.
We'll talk about it offline. Yeah. But if Apple makes me $0, I'm just not very compelled for us to be on there.
Yeah, true.
That's the point. Anyways, all right. So yes, we go to tribal. The jury was unimpressed by Steven's analogy. I forgot what his analogy was, but we looked over at them and they're like rolling their eyes, making a face. Not that it matters. Steven's not in the final 3 anyways, but
yeah,
the jury is just done with the analogies as well. Also, I want to mention during the challenge, during the immune challenge, Steven was reciting the numbers from the lockbox, the 18, 43, 25.
Oh, I was going to ask if that's what those numbers were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JT, Gabler, Denise. As we learned,
listen, whatever you got to do to help yourself concentrate. Yeah.
Jake did it. Steven did. Are we going to see? Are we going to see it again? Are they going to change the number? I think at this point they have to. They've made it a thing. They have to change the number, right? Right.
Also,
I don't know. If I go on Survivor, I'm just going to pop in the number and see what happens.
Well, that's the question. It's like, okay, if you're Steven, you show up on the island for this journey. Can you start just guessing numbers? Or like, if you guess wrong, do you? Yeah, because if you lose, if you get it wrong one time, then it's like not worth it. Like you're going to run around the island to check, you know?
I think Rizgod's the only person on this cast that would have popped in those numbers just to see.
He would have, yeah.
He'd
that
be like,
awesome.
JT, Gabler, Denise, let's give it a shot. Why not? Boom, doesn't have to run around the island. The show like had all these drones and everything set up for this, and it just ends up being for naught.
He comes back, like he leaves the island on the boat to go to the journey. He comes back like 10 minutes later, and everybody's like, what happened?
He goes Amazing Race. I was like, Cab, don't. He's like, boat, don't go anywhere. I'm going to be right back. Because I mean, Amazing Race, when they're confident, they're going to like do something and be right back in like a minute. They're like, just wait here. I'll be right back. That's what he's going to, boat, don't go nowhere. I'm going to be right back. You don't need, just wait right there.
That's so
Not that I
funny.
think the boat does go anywhere. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the boat does. I mean, they get out of the way for shots, I assume is what they do.
But like how far away? Like do they just go out into the ocean a bit, or do they like
I don't know.
leave?
I would assume production has, I mean, if we're talking behind the scenes, I would assume production, if they're doing something like this, has a handful of people out there for this journey. Because I feel like they definitely more than 2 cameras going. They got the drone. I'd say they have a production boat out there. And the production boats, what I remember seeing on Mon Island in Fiji, their production boats are bigger than the little skimpy boat that they bring the players on. So
sure.
Yeah. All right. So Steven's voted out in what is by far in a season full of baffling votes, the most baffling of the votes. And that's the thing. They have 90 minutes to explain this, and I'm still baffled.
Yeah. As they were reading the votes, I was like, I literally was yelling at my TV, like, what? Like, what's happened? I can't, like, Sage and Christina. Like, I understand.
There should have been a second Sophie B vote, and there wasn't. There should have been.
I understand Sage flipping. I don't understand Christina flipping. I think Sage flipping is a bad move, to be clear.
Yeah.
But I do understand. I mean, she's been playing the middle this whole season.
On her emotions.
Like, sure. Like, yeah. that's sort of predictable at this point. But why in the world did Christina flip? Like, Steven is supposedly her number one ally in this whole season.
They had a 3-2 advantage.
There was no reason.
Who cares about everything else? They had a 3-2 advantage.
I mean,
what's the thought process? Oh no, Steven beats me in Final 3?
I can see.
What, you think you're going to beat Rizgod and Savannah?
Right, exactly. The only thing I can see is if Sage told Christina, I am voting for Steven. So therefore, the numbers have flipped. So now there are possible. 3 on Steven and 2 on Sophie B. And so Christina was like, well, I don't want to be on the wrong side. Which, I mean, like, even still, like, okay, next week, are they going to keep Christina around? Like, is Savannah and Rizgod and Sophie B, like, what motivation do they have to keep Christina around?
What's going to happen is Christina and Sage are going out back to back, whatever order that is.
Probably Sage first if she doesn't win immunity. Because Christina is such a non-threat.
Put Christina in fire.
Challenges.
Right. Put Christina in fire.
Yep.
I don't know who's beating her fire. Maybe Savannah. Savannah just truly secures anything anybody needs to know about her by beating somebody in fire. That would be the end of it.
She has the confidence to do it too. I could see her absolutely just like being, even if she wins, just being like, I'm going to put myself in fire. Like, she has that confidence. I could see her doing that.
Or she wins that final immunity, puts Sophie B in it with Christina. Or
either way.
Do you think she puts Rizgod in with Christina? That's possible. I mean,
it's possible for sure. Yeah. I mean, it could be like kind of a situation of like Kyle and Camilla where, you know, Camilla ends up on the jury and is able to kind of like sway people towards, you know, like if Rizgod ends up on the jury,
Christina's beating them in fire. Come on.
No, but I'm saying if, say, Sage wins immunity at 5, so they have to vote Christina out.
And then, I see. Yes, okay.
And then it's Sage versus Rizgod in fire.
Sage I can see winning a fire. Yeah, Sage I can see winning a fire.
That could happen.
I could see Sage winning a fire. That would be the scenario. That is correct. Yeah. But Christina is not winning a fire unless it's against Rizgod because they're both awful at challenges.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh man, that would be tough.
Yeah, and then it's Savannah versus Christina and Sophie B, and Savannah just clean sweeps the jury.
Yep. I could see it happening.
That's at that point. All right, let's move on to what's new on Patreon. As always, these podcasts are early and ad-free. There are comments on Patreon, by the way. Most of the comments here on YouTube, but people do talk on Patreon as well, so join us there. As always, I'm fixing the story videos that have been taken down by YouTube. There's a pinned post on Patreon for all free and paid members. I did just make the Charlie versus Kenzie video explaining why Charlie lost. I know we all know, but like really getting in the weeds, you know. I also made, believe it or not, because it was voted for, I was surprised by this when it was picked, but I can't even call it a rise and fall. The Fall and Destruction of Francesca Hoagie. I think that's how you say your last name. The Fall and Destruction of Francesca from Survivor. Yes, her.
Yeah, okay.
I made the video. Sure. It's, believe it or not, I think 17 minutes long.
Wow, that's impressive. Because didn't she go out her first episode both times? Spoilers, I guess.
Her first season, she actually made it till episode 3 because of Redemption Island. But she didn't win a single duel. It's just that it didn't happen until episode 3. But yes.
Gotcha.
Francesca's video is on Patreon. It's a good one. And of course, I have a bunch of videos on all the 50 players leading up to 50. So tons of them. That's why I did Charlie versus Kenzie. I basically made a super video about Charlie and Kenzie. So leading up to 50. All right, let's move on to winner analysis. Tomorrow, actually, no winner analysis tonight. No, we'll do winner analysis very briefly because Mass and I are going to go in depth and we're going to talk about the remaining 5 players and how to get to Final 3 and who they should sit next to if they want a chance to win. Because some of them just have a chance. Some of them seem almost guaranteed. We'll talk about this tomorrow. Tonight, just our top 2, Rebekah, briefly. We probably do this in unison unless you've changed.
Yeah, no, I think we can do it in unison. I thought about it, but yeah. Number
2 is Rizgod. Number 1 is Savannah. Yep. All right. Rizgod. Yeah. My concern. Okay. So even if let's say we did no tribe divisions of 50, I think that's just obviously where we would land is 1 Savannah, 2 Rizgod. But I think without tribe divisions of 50, like we didn't know or it wasn't happening or whatever. I think with this, there are signs there that this jury may not respect the flashy gameplay.
Yeah. Honestly, if we weren't considering 50, I don't know if I would have Rizgod at 2.
You would have him lower still?
3. He might be at 3 for me. But it's because I'm worried that, like you said, this jury is not going to respect his gameplay because, I mean, but here's the thing. The counterpoint to that is this man has talked everyone into voting his way so many times. He hasn't had to play his idol. I mean, tonight he convinced Sage and Christina to vote out Steven. Like that, if that's not Riz, I don't know what is. So like, if he can channel that into his final jury speech, if he can charm the jury and not do it in a flashy way, like do it in a way that is actually like he has a good convincing argument and just uses his charm to convince them, like I think he has a shot at winning. But I do worry, like you said, that people aren't going to respect him because no one's been talking about voting for him for a long time.
Yeah, that's the top concern.
Yeah. And I know he has an idol, but
part
still,
of it though is that people think he has an idol he's going to play.
Right. Yeah.
True. I mean, really, that's it. So yeah. All right. Well, number 1, Savannah. I think that Savannah, while some people have viewed her as a mean girl, I think there is enough votes still there for her to win at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. And especially if Sage somehow squeaks by to the final 3, like if you have Rizgod or Sophie B on the jury, like I think that's another vote for her.
I think a Sage is a vote for Savannah. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I was going to say Sage might not be, depending on who she's sitting next to, because I think Sage has been the main one sort of perpetuating this narrative that Savannah's a mean girl, and sort of like had this feud. But who knows? Sage is a bit unpredictable. Maybe she'll get on the jury and be like, you know what? This is my karma for not voting Savannah out, and so I need to vote for her to win. I have to vote for her to win. Like, genuinely, that could happen. So yeah, I think Savannah has a great shot to win. Like you said, just the concern is just that everyone's going to view her as the mean girl, and want to vote for someone who they feel is nicer or whatever term they want to use. So yeah, that's the main concern there. But I think she has a great shot at winning right now.
Yeah, I think Savannah's are obviously the front runner. Been my number 1 all season. I know that you and Mary and Madison all had Sophie B at your top at one point. And I was just like, I all season I've just been waiting for where's the evidence that Savannah doesn't win. While there has been talks of opposing Savannah, I know she has a few votes against her, just nothing solid enough for me to be like, yep, Savannah's done for. I think there was one episode this season where it's like, oh no, Savannah and Rizgod at the bottom, but that was like 5 minutes into the next episode. They're like, no, don't worry, it's all okay.
Yeah, they actually the game is flipped again.
Yeah, actually, don't worry, it's fine. Yeah, I know you're sweating, but it's okay. Don't even sweat it. So,
and I will say the counterpoint to that, what you were saying about Savannah's had some votes against her, and so, like people are constantly talking about voting Savannah out. So she gets to the end, and it's like, hey, everyone was trying to vote me out this whole time. Like I'm such a huge threat to win. That's such a good pitch for her to win, and I think people would respect that. So yeah, I think if she makes it to the end, she's got a fantastic shot at winning right now, and I think she's gonna win her way to the end too. Like no Steven anymore.
If you're a jury member, who are you voting for? Savannah, Rizgod, Sophie B are in the final 3.
I would vote for Savannah personally.
I'd vote for Rizgod, just because I enjoy
that checks out. Yeah.
I enjoy the entertainment factor he's bringing at Tribal, and the fact that he keeps getting away with not playing his idol. To me, that's
so
enough.
Indicative of our personality types, though.
It is. I'm not saying he deserves it. I'm saying that's who I would vote for. So, anyways, all right. Trivia question of the week.
You have 5 and I have 4.
I have 5 and you have 4. Okay, so I'm ahead by 1. Yeah. This is closer than most seasons, I feel like, for us.
It is. I've tried to make your questions harder this season, and I've done the same tonight because I want to, I got to catch up.
I've only got 5 out of 11 weeks, so you've nailed me more than half the weeks. And I've nailed you. Yeah, only 4 times you've gotten through, and I think 1 time you got help. No, both times you got help, you denied the help.
I didn't listen. I should have listened.
You would have 6 points if you listened. That's right.
I know.
All right.
And that's my karma for not listening to Rachel and Rome.
Now you have to vote for Savannah to win. That's the karma.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
I hate when that happens. I hate
it happens all the time.
I make the wrong move and I'm forced to give Savannah $1 million. I hate when that happens. All right, Rebekah, go ahead and ask your question first.
Okay. So your question this week is, when was the first episode when the person who played the extra vote was voted out without any hidden immunity idols being played?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So it's pretty specific,
that
okay?
is.
So your options are, again, I'm trying to make these harder. So your options are Worlds Apart episode 13, Cambodia episode 11, season 41 episode 11, or season 42 episode 11.
Okay, so Worlds Apart was Dan Foley. Cambodia was Stephen Fishback. I don't know 40 or 42. I don't think those are the answers anyways, but I could be wrong. What was the question again?
So let me read it exactly here.
Yeah.
When was the first episode,
yes,
where the person who played the extra vote was voted out without any hidden immunity idols being played?
Oh, man.
Because there's multiple instances where people played the vote and got voted out, but
play an idol the episode Dan Foley went out? That's the question. Because Mike Holloway immunity his way to the end, but did have to play an idol one time. And I forget if it was the episode where he voted off Dan Foley. Dan Foley had his extra vote that ended up being nothing. Stephen Fishback had an extra vote that ended up being nothing. My gut says Dan Foley. My brain says Stephen Fishback. I know your question is when. I know what players. There's no tricking me. I mean, there's no tricking me on like who. I don't know the idol part. Shoot. If it's not Dan Foley, it's Fishback. That's the thing. All right. I'm going to go with going with my gut is a sage move. I'm going to go Stephen Fishback.
Okay.
Cambodia.
Okay. So that is actually not correct.
It was Dan Foley.
So no, it was actually season 42.
Really?
So because in Cambodia, it was not an extra vote. Steven stole a vote and then he was voted out.
And he stole Joe's vote or something like that. I forget.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, but your logic was there.
Wait, so when Dan Foley went out, Mike Holloway played his idol? Is that what happened, I'm guessing?
I think Carolyn played an idol that episode.
Okay.
So yes, yeah, but that was an instance I believe where he played an extra
I wasn't on the
vote
right track anyways.
Was voted out, but yeah. But like I said, yeah, trying to make these questions harder. I got to catch up to you. So now all I have to do is get this question right.
Okay, well your question is on season 41, what did Xander give Liana when she played her knowledge is power? Your options are a fake idol, a rock, nothing, or a handshake.
Oh my goodness. I don't remember anything from this season.
I almost put a kiss, but that's more secret scene. Remember Liana hated his face, and then there's those like multiple secret scenes where it's like clearly I think they were into each other, or at least Liana was into him. Anyways, so when Xander gave Liana, you gotta watch those if you haven't seen them. What did Xander give Liana when she played her knowledge is power? A fake idol, a rock, nothing, or a handshake?
Man, I don't remember, but I'm gonna pull a sage. I'm gonna go with my gut, which has steered me wrong in the past. I'm gonna say a handshake. That sounds the most familiar, so
no, that's
my final answer.
That's incorrect.
Dang.
Okay,
what was it?
I didn't even look this up. I just wrote it down. I'm 99% sure it's a fake idol. It could be a rock. Either way, it wasn't a handshake. You can
that would have been
me.
so funny though.
No,
just like
she says, she goes for, can I steal your idol? And he's like, no, but you can have this fake. And it was like a huge burn.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it was a rock.
I literally have not seen that season since it aired, I don't think.
Yeah, that's for the best. But.
So, man. Well, all right. After today, you were still at 5 points. Yeah. I'm still at 4 points. So next week is going to be all or nothing.
I double checked on YouTube. It was a fake. Yeah. He gave her a fake. Okay. We got this fake. It was an amazing play. And I brought it up because this is another episode where the knowledge is power. I predicted it was going to flounder, and sure enough, it did. It's not the knowledge is power's fault. It's the players who have this thing consistently cannot use it. What is going on? It's easy. You get to steal an idol. People are like, oh, wait till the last possible minute and they'll steal the wrong thing. Or they'll still just steal, the thing is it failed in 43 because people predicted it and they changed hands of it. I don't know. It was expertly played in 43 in terms of people changing hands of things into anticipation. 41, Xander, I think, got found out that Liana had or something. I forgot what happened. But yeah, it's just like this knowledge is power. Like it just keeps ball keeps being fumbled on it one way or the other. It's like cursed. It's a cursed advantage at this point to have. So, all right, let's move on to your all's questions. As always, when the episode ends, ask for all's questions here on YouTube, and then we'll answer them. All right, so Rebekah, our first question is, let me take a look here. So many comments this week. It was a very popular episode for comments.
Nice.
First question is from Mr. Sillyhead. Do you think Rizgod had a better read on Sage and Christina than the edit let on? He's been performative with his idol, and I want to believe he's not just hamming up for 50. So is it feasible he's reading Sage / Christina to make sure he's not blundering, or is it just Xander 2.0? What do you think?
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a great question. I would not be surprised if there was a lot more conversations between Rizgod, Sage, and Christina than what we saw.
Of course,
because like you were saying earlier, I mean, it seemed like Rizgod just went up to Sage and was like, "Hey, we should vote for Steven."
She's like, "Good idea."
She and Christina were like, "You know what? Yeah, let's do it."
Boom, perfect.
So yeah, I'm sure there was a lot more conversations. I mean, obviously everything's edited for TV.
No.
Yeah, no, they don't show us the full 12 hours or whatever.
This isn't a live feed.
I know. Yeah, it's not Big Brother. So yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if he just had a better read. I think he gets a lot of credit for tonight's vote, regardless. I mean, he's the one who convinced them, from what we saw, to vote for Steven.
That's the thing. So. It's like, okay, that's the thing. Okay, did Savannah save them or did Rizgod? I mean, both of them clearly did. But like Savannah basically convinced Sophie B not to flip. But then Rizgod convinced Sage and Christina to flip on their own alliance. So I don't know.
I mean, I think they both did, to be honest, because if Sophie B had gone to Sage and Christina, like if the three of them were left behind on the reward, and she's like, "Hey, let me use my knowledge as power to steal Rizgod's very public idol, and then we'll vote him out," like that, I mean, that could have very feasibly happened tonight. And that would have been a very different, I mean, even if Rizgod had talked to them, like who knows if he would have been able to sway them. And either way, if you know, Sophie steals his idol, like he's vulnerable. So I think it really was a team effort between Savannah and Rizgod tonight. Again, I don't know if Savannah realizes how big of a move this was.
Right.
But it was a big move for her.
This season is like the Ghost Island of the new era, dude. Just two people dominating the season, and then one person sitting on their hands doing nothing about it, and then everyone else just like falling over backwards to lose to these two. That's really, it's really Ghost Island again, without the fun Ghost Island part. All right, next one's from Benson. Wild take, they say. Sage wins. That is a wild take. At 5, they predict Christina goes, because Savannah wins immunity, and takes Sophie B. And then Sage beats Rizgod in fire, and then Sage gets votes from Jawan, Christina, Alex, MC, and the tall guy who got voted off first. I always forget his name. Nate?
Is that Nate?
Yeah, Nate.
Yeah.
So Benson out here writing fan fiction.
I was going to say, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a wild take. I think the only way that happens, I think the only way that happens is if Sage wins the next immunity. Because if like, say Savannah wins the next immunity, why would they vote out Christina instead of Sage?
I agree. Yes.
That's my big thing. So Sage would have to win that immunity. And
Sage
even then
needs to win out on immunities, basically, in my mind.
Yeah. And even then, I feel like it's a long shot for her at this point, but maybe
she gets a few votes. I mean, remember, this is the same group of people have done all these votes that we have seen this post-merge game.
Yeah.
If Sage has a shot. I don't think it's a great shot. I think she has a shot. The only person who I think has no shot is Christina, and they did her dirty with 2 confessional episodes. So
yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, next up, next comment, questions from the Rebel Dog. I don't know what they're more excited for, they say. This awful season to be over or the Survivor 50 preview. Honestly, they both go hand in hand. When one happens, the other one happens.
True.
So
that is true.
My question is, what's funny is you go on the CBS TV schedule, like you Google it and look at their TV schedule, the image they show for 49's episodes is just an image of 50. They don't ever do that.
Oh, if that's not a metaphor, I don't know what is.
Because every week or every 2 weeks, I'll check the CBS, go on their website and check the TV schedule just to see if like an episode's going to be longer by chance. I just need to know for our, for these podcasts and stuff. And like, is the finale going to be this long? Like I know every episode's 90 minutes just for my own like mental sanity. And I was like, oh, weird. At some point during 49, they decided to switch the image to an image of 50, just really telling you where their head's at as well.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yep.
It's unfortunate, but inevitable.
It is inevitable. All right. Next question's from Shrek. I have too many questions, but let's start with this one. Are Savannah and Rizgod the only players with a thought out plan, or is the edit just not showing how some players think they can win?
I think the edit might not be showing how Sophie thinks she can win, but man, I don't think Sage and Christina have a plan.
No.
Like, Sage has flip-flopped so many times. They're flying by the seat of their pants. Like, yeah.
And Sophie B's thought out plan ended up failing so hard.
And I don't even know if I would say that it's the edit is hiding Sophie B's thought out plan.
No.
I think it's just that
they gave her so much screen time tonight.
Yeah, like she has so many good ideas, but she's just not executing any of them. So do with that what you will.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. Next question from Rocking Cardinal. Are Sage and Christina just trying to hand $1 million to another person? Yes, they are. All right. Next question's from Sarah Tron. Genuine question. Will you still do a winner analysis tomorrow, even though we all think we know Savannah's going to win? That's a great question, Sarah Tron. Yes, we are going to. Me and Masson are going to. We're going to rank all 5 players remaining, and we're also do a separate podcast to rank every New Era season. Also, she mentioned talking about. So I haven't really talked about this podcast in a while, but we do have a date for the adoption of our child. December 22nd is the date it should be happening. So unfortunately, that is after the finale, so I can't show a picture. Can't show you who our child is or anything. So we'll do that for like the premiere of 50. I'll put a picture of us with our adopted child. But yes, we are adopting at this point she's 9 months old, but she'll be 10 months old. Maybe by the premiere 50. Yeah, something like that. Like a year. I forget. I'll double check.
Nice.
I don't forget when the premiere 50
Make sure
is.
When you guys take a picture, will she be wearing like a Survivor buff or anything, or is she not a fan yet?
We did put a buff of 48 on her when we first got her, because it was when 48 was ending. So I didn't put a 49 buff on her because I didn't want her to be disappointed with her life choices. So,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
maybe a 50 buff, you know?
There you go.
Anyways, because Sarah did ask about that in her long question as well. All right. Hope Liz asks, this was the first episode of Survivor since Gabler's win that I've been absolutely flabbergasted by the vote. I feel utterly bamboozled. How cold can their hands be? Apparently it's freezing out there, Hope Liz. What do you think, Rebekah?
Flabbergasted is a great word. I think I was equally flabbergasted when Kyle won last season, but that might have just been me. I think other people saw that coming. Equally to tonight. Like, I think the Gabler thing still is like the peak for me of like absolutely flabbergasted. But I think Kyle and tonight were equal for me. But what about you?
I don't think Kyle's win. I mean, because the week before Kyle winning, I said if it's not Joe, it's Kyle. I think what I was more flabbergasted by was Eva getting second. That's what got me.
Yeah, Joe getting third.
Joe getting third and Eva getting second was not what we were being led to believe. If Joe got second and Kyle won, I was like, okay, in retrospect, that all lines up. But Eva gets second and Joe gets like the worst. He's like at Final Tribal, like I've never watched Survivor before, the way he's talking, you know? What is this show I'm on? Like that's the way he's talking at Final Tribal. I'm like, what is going on? So anyways, I was not baffled by Kyle. But yes, this is definitely one of the most flabbergasting votes. Is that right? You used that word? I'm flabbergasted as well. This is one of the most baffling votes in the entire New Era. I don't know about all time, but in the New Era for sure. So
I mean, I say all of that. I still put 6 votes on Steven on my fantasy team tonight. So yeah, it's like the one time I voted correctly this season, but you know.
Yeah, I will post the updated standings on Patreon. I forgot to the week of Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving was just Thanksgiving with our family at our house, plus me doing 2 podcasts while they're here was quite a lot. And I forgot to do it that week. And then last week, I'm just dumb. I pulled a Sage or Christina and I just forgot to do the right thing. So this week I'll post updated standings on Patreon. My bad. That's like, imagine just like voting for Steven. You're like, oh no, I meant to vote for Savannah. My bad. Or vote for Sophie B. My bad. I didn't mean to.
That's so funny.
I screwed up. This is karma. All right. Well, that's it for the girls' questions. Thank you for them. And now it's time for the final part of our podcast. Rebekah, this is a movie that I hadn't watched in so long. I rewatched it because you said you were going to watch it, and we got it from the Criterion Collection. Rebekah, what are you reviewing this week?
So this week I am reviewing The Breakfast Club. And this is a movie that actually, I don't know if I told you this, but I actually had not seen this movie before. This is obviously like
blind buying movies.
Listen, it's such a classic that I was like, I'm sure that this movie is going to be good. So I did. I put a lot of faith in just the people talk about this movie. I think I'd seen like clips from it, or at least like heard quotes. It's such a famous movie. But yeah, I watched it and I have to say I really enjoyed it. If anyone listening doesn't know, it's basically the whole movie is just these 5 kids who have to do detention all day on a Saturday. They're like high schoolers, and they're just in this school all day, and so they're all strangers at the beginning. They kind of get to know each other, and there's some really interesting like character arcs and character development. I have to say, to me, the beginning of the movie was a little slow, which. I mean, this movie was made in the 80s, and I have
Bender
the
was just being a jerk
brain.
the entire first part of the movie, and you're like not supposed to like the guy at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even I have to say, even later, I did not really like his character too much. Maybe that's I don't know, gonna upset people, but
give him a little sympathy with like what's going on at home. I think it's what they're going with. But
true.
By the end of the movie, it's still Bender's just okay.
Yeah, I think to me. I wish that the movie would have been longer, to be honest, because it felt like towards the end we were getting into like character development. They were bonding more. Like we were starting to really they were starting to become deeper characters. It felt like, and then the movie ended, and I was like, no, I want to spend more time with these characters that I've like started to fall in love with.
You wanted Breakfast Club 2, where they come back the next Saturday.
Is that actually a movie?
But strangely looking 5 years older because it's like Stranger Things, where they just take too long to film each season.
Right. Yeah, they should do Breakfast Club 2 now.
Oh my gosh. I don't think everybody's alive anymore. I could be wrong on that.
Oh, really? Oh,
well,
no.
I know Paul Gleason's no longer alive. He was the assistant principal.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. He was a little older.
I really liked his character until he threw Bender in the closet. Up until then, I'm like, this dude's hilarious. His character,
Yes. I think he was very funny. Like, there's a lot of quotable lines from this movie. But yeah, I also appreciated that the movie wasn't afraid to...
I'm cracking skulls as Bender's mouthing it along with them.
Yeah.
I'm cracking skulls.
I did appreciate that the movie wasn't afraid to get like a little darker. I will say this movie's rated R, by the way. Just
oh, good. I thought it was PG-13, but I didn't check.
Yeah, it's a movie about teenagers. I think it's rated R just for language.
It has to be.
I guess just content warning, there's language, including like some slurs, which I was not expecting.
Very 80s.
Yeah, very 80s. There's also like some sexual content, some like talk about self-harm and just like heavy topics. So like just be aware of that going into this if you're going to watch it. But that being said, like again, I appreciate movies that are like willing to tell real stories, and all of the characters felt very like fleshed out. So yeah, to me, it was all valid storytelling. Like sometimes they just, they'll put stuff in movies just to get a certain rating or whatever. But like to me, it felt very validated. But just be aware of that going into it.
I think with all of John Hughes directed movies, in my personal opinion, it feels like there's always more language and more content than is almost necessary. And this is just my opinion. I recently watched Uncle Buck, and I felt the same thing. I'm like, man, like they could have toned down the language somewhat in that movie and have been like an all-time classic, but there's like so much, and it's so purposeful, and he does it in this movie as well. And you could argue it's appropriate. Also, my biggest question coming out of this movie is, when did they name themselves the Breakfast Club? Should they be the Lunch Club? That's what we see them eating. They eat lunch.
Right. Yeah, that's such a great question. And that's also why, again, I was like, I wanted more at the end of this movie. Like, I need so much more explanation.
Are there deleted secret scenes? Was there some secret scenes Survivor put out of when they named themselves the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, maybe. Because I think what they're trying to imply is like that, because they're talking about like social clubs throughout the movie. So
and
I think
who
what they're
they
trying to
are as
imply
people.
is like, oh yeah, so now we're like all of us are part of this club, so we can be friends or whatever. So like I get that part of it, but yeah, why was it called the Breakfast Club? Like I have so many questions.
Because it's a good name.
Yeah,
And Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative and gets the people going.
Yes. And this movie is like I said, such a classic. I mean, you hear the song that starts playing at the beginning and the end. It's oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like it's nostalgic, even though this is the first time I've seen the movie. Actually, I take that back. I have seen the end of this movie because it's in Pitch Perfect, and that's one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, I've seen the ending, just with that song and when he like pumps his fist in the air,
When Emilio Estevez goes into that room and screams and breaks the window with his shout.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Incredible.
That's the part that's been with me. Like Molly Ringwald dancing on top of the stairs is iconic, and it should have lasted longer than like the 3 seconds we saw. But him going in that room and screaming and breaking a window on top of like Bender. I'm not Bender, sorry. When Paul Gleason's like, you mess with the bull, young man, you get the horns. Next time I come in here, I'm cracking skulls as like Bender's mouthing it. I don't know. There's like some great moments in that movie.
Yes.
Because I think he says that multiple times.
Very iconic.
I could be wrong.
Yes.
Is there a ruckus in here? I heard a ruckus.
Can you describe the ruckus?
Yeah. I didn't hear a ruckus.
Yeah. I definitely need to watch it again. Like, I feel like this is a movie that I'm going to want to watch multiple times. But yeah, so that's my review of The Breakfast Club. I do recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this earlier. But it is
rated R. And if it's not rated R, it should be rated R.
It is rated R. Yes, okay, I did double check it. Or at least according to IMDb, it's rated R.
Yeah, it's definitely rated R.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I forgot to mention this earlier, but we were talking earlier about the photo contest and how including your pets is a good way to enhance your photos.
Yes.
And so you may notice in the photos of my DVD of The Breakfast Club that I've included my cat because she wanted to have a cameo.
What's your cat's name?
Her name is Willow.
Willow.
And yeah. She slept through this whole movie, but she sleeps through every movie. So I don't know what her review is, but I assume it's positive.
Willow. I will say, preview for next week's movie review. I picked it, and it's perfect for Survivor. Next week, preview for those who want to watch it before we talk about it. 12 Angry Men. It's a classic.
Yes.
It's about a jury making a decision, right? That's the entire movie. It's a jury making a decision. Perfect. So we're going to review. That's the preview for next week. Check that one out. It's going to be a recommend. Like every movie you talk about in this podcast is basically going to be a recommend. It's more of like, is this your speed kind of thing? 12 Angry Men is a great movie, and it's about a jury.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yes, Breakfast Club, definitely, mileage may vary with content, but 12 Angry Men's, if there wasn't a PG-13 at the time, but I don't think it's even PG-13, but if it is, it's a very light if it's PG-13. If it should have been, I mean. So anyways, all right. Well, hey, that's all we have for this week. Next week is the finale and tomorrow's winner analysis.
Let's go.
And then, Survivor 50.
Then we're talking about 50.
And the Traitors.
50 is almost here. And Traitors, so much to look forward to this winter.
For sure,
I'm so excited.
All right. Well, we thank you all for listening. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.